right. Yeah. It's starting to heat up.
It's starting to heat up a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you into true crime at all?
Son is really into it. I pretty much, if I hear it going on, then I'm interested in it, but I'm not going to put on Netflix.
Right. You don't seek it out.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you. But I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan. I mean, I like it quite a bit. True crime, that is. But I was scrolling through TikTok the other day, and I saw this video, and it was from a podcast. The guy's name is Connor Williams. He's a former Navy SEAL, and I haven't ever listened to his podcast, but I guess he tells stories and stuff. But the video I saw was from this TikTok called The Wind Down, and I'll put the link down in the description. But he was talking about this true crime story, and so it was back in the 1970s in Utah. There was this couple. They went out on a first date, and the date's going on, and they're both not feeling it. Like they know it's not going well. And so the guy, he decides.
This was an older couple or a younger couple?
They were like college age.
Okay.
And so the guy's like, he can tell it's not going well, and he's like, "Oh shit, what do I do?" And he decides. He asks her, "Hey, do you want to go do something crazy?" And she was like, kind of taken aback, and she's like, "What? Yeah." And so he's like, "All right, I know this lookout in Provo Canyon, which is I guess this big like popular hiking trail and stuff." And so they drive out, and it's like in the woods, and it's dark. It's nighttime. So they park, and then they start walking. And as they're walking, like both of them, they're not speaking, but they both, and this is in retrospect, them talking about it, they both were feeling like this weird feeling, like they like almost kind of like a
Horny.
maybe it might have had something to do with it, but no, it was almost kind of like a feeling of dread. Like there was they felt something, like something was off. And so they're walking, and it's like pitch black, and they're in the middle of the fucking woods, and they're walking, and then all of a sudden the guy steps on something, and he says it was soft, and he didn't know what it was, and he stopped, and like the girl stopped right there with them. They didn't look around. They just like grabbed each other and just took back off to the car. They got in the car, like it's like in a movie when you're in this scary moment, and then you finally get like stop, and it's like you're safe, and you just laugh about it.
Okay.
So they laugh about it. This couple, they end up getting married. Like that experience that bonded them, and so this was like 10 years later they got married, and they're watching the news, and they're interviewing a very famous serial killer. And the interviewer asked the killer, he's like, "Was there ever a moment before you got caught where you almost got caught?" He's like, "Yeah, there was.
Oh, shit.
There was this night in Provo Canyon. I had just killed a girl. I drug her body across the trail, and out of nowhere, this couple comes around. The guy stepped on the body. I was 2 feet from him. If they would have investigated, I would have had to kill them too."
Oh, my God.
And that was Ted Bundy.
Oh, my God. Dude, that's crazy.
Right?
So that really happened?
That really happened.
Oh, my God.
How crazy is that? That is fucking wild.
Man.
And just they have the best first date story in the world now. Best and worst. I mean,
damn, that's unreal.
That shit's wild, right? I was like, holy shit.
That's usually my reactions to, like, if I see something, not seeking it out, but if I'm like, oh my God. Those shit, it's unbelievable. It scares me, and it's, golly, that is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah, that was just a story I wanted to tell because I thought it was super interesting.
Well, where'd you heard that on a podcast?
It was on TikTok. Yeah.
Okay.
It's called the TikTok profile is called The Wind Down, and it says it's a story from this former Navy SEAL named Chris Williamson, who I guess has a podcast, but he like tells stories kind of like that and like all types of stories. But I haven't actually listened to his podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll post his name and the link to the TikTok that I saw, just so everyone else can see.
Yeah, check it out
if they want to. But yeah, so this week we we already got the new name, new logo, and to continue along with that, we got your son, my nephew, who's big into music, like producing music. He produced a brand new theme for us.
Yep.
So we will be debuting it right now. Yeah, I like it, man. It's a good good little ditty.
It's
a little rockish. It almost. I told you the other day. It because I've been watching X-Men so much. That last like guitar riff reminds me of the X-Men theme.
Yeah,
but it also reminds me kind of like of the Joe Rogan Experience theme.
That I get I think we talked about it. Like it feels like a fight scene, anime fight scene. That's what it kind of.
Yeah.
You can beat my dragon style. I was like, that that sense.
Yeah, so I'll put your son Joaquin. I'll put his YouTube page down in the description. So if y'all want to check him out, if you want to hire him, yeah. I mean, we'll start him early,
Definitely. Yeah, that's what he enjoys doing those things, and he does a lot for, like on the Discord that he's on. They do a lot of things for this other video game, and all it is just coming up with themes and stuff like that. Yeah, so
nice.
That's what he's into.
Yeah, and he's good at it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of him.
He enjoys it.
Yeah. All right, so this week we have a few topics that we want to talk about. There was one in last week's episode, which we're back to normal. We have the video for all you peepers. Last week, it like I mentioned last week, I got busy and we didn't have time to actually sit down and do it like this. But we had family in town.
It was a good session. I listened to it. It was good.
Yeah, we had family in town. It was my grandpa's 90th birthday this last weekend when we celebrated. So we had family come in town. Care Bear and Mocha Bear. They were staying at your house.
Yeah,
we're having some drinks, and like I said, I've always noticed when we all get together, we have a lot of times entertaining conversations, and almost kind of more so now that like it's funny when I tell people I do a podcast. Everyone's always like starting to talk my ear off whereas normally they might not have. But it's just interesting. But we've always had like great conversations when us and the cousins get together. And I didn't think about it until later in the conversation about recording it, but then I finally did. But there was one topic that we had talked about that I didn't get recorded, and it was the correlation of money and happiness. And a lot of people say money doesn't buy happiness. I believe that to an extent, but I don't think it is fully true. I think money buys peace of mind and assuredness, which is a part of happiness. So saying this blanket statement that's just like black and white, we live life in the gray. Like we're in between that black and white, and I think that falls right in there because I guarantee you, a lot of money would solve a lot of my problems, and yeah, it's not going to bring me full happiness. Like there's just too much to happiness that it can't bring everything, but it can bring some of it. And I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I'm with you. I always am the mind of it cannot buy happiness. But like you said, and I tell my kids this, I'm like, money definitely helps.
Yeah.
It makes things easier. Um, I think that if you have too much of it, though, it can get probably extremely stressful, hard. I mean, I can just imagine, if you had, you know, millions of dollars, like the people that would reach out to you,
Oh, absolutely.
um,
Yeah.
extra attention that you don't want. But as far as the things that that I say, the reason why I would say that is like, if you did find, something that you actually can't put a value on, then and you're actually truly happy
Yeah.
with that simple thing. It's almost like a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
If going to, say going to a concert, you go and say for me, like I go and see Metallica or something, like that feeling that I get, I cannot put like I can put a price on going,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, but I can't put a price on the feeling that I get once I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
That
the
that
thing.
feeling, that emotion,
Hmm.
that moment.
Yeah.
And I like to tell people, like, I like to think as long as I can remember, the way I live my life is like I chase
Quarter mile of the
moments.
day. Quarter mile of the time.
I chase moments and experiences.
Mm.
That was a big reason why I moved to LA and took that big chance.
Hmm.
And I had so many moments and experiences out there that I'll never forget. And that's something that no one can ever take away from me,
Yep.
no matter how much money I have or how little money I have.
Yep.
That those moments and those experiences will live with me forever.
Priceless. Yep.
But along with that, I do believe with money can bring power, but that power corrupts. And I that's why I can never trust a politician, because all they're looking for is power. And they say they want to do this and this and this, but how many times have we seen that not be true?
Yeah, and I think it compounds. Like I think from the beginning of probably human existence, it's been like that too. Like even if
Mhm.
there's no money, if there is power to be
Oh
gained,
yeah.
like, and even if you're appointed, like, hey, we trust this person. This person's gonna lead us. He's the best hunter, or whatever the case is.
Right.
Once that person gets a taste of power and like, hey, wait, these people are gonna follow me and they're gonna
Mhm.
do what I tell them to do. Well, you're gonna use that to your advantage. I would say probably most people are gonna do that.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And with it, you start probably doing some shady shit. And
Yeah. Yeah, that leads us into our next topic is, with they always say knowledge is power. And we've talked about 0 point energy before.
oh yeah,
And you had sent me this podcast, the Y Files, and he's talking about 0 point energy
hmm
and a lot of what's been going on. That some people may be aware of, some might not. But it exists, and people have come up with inventions that use 0 point energy. That's essentially putting out power without taking it in,
Yep.
or a very little amount in.
very minimal input, a lot of
And
output.
the reason behind why we don't have it available, which if we did, we would be probably 100 years in the future tech wise.
Oh, dude.
And we'd have free power for everyone.
Yeah.
And the reason that we don't is because of money and power. Every government agency has somebody in the patent office. And if you go to patent an invention like this, they put it on the shelf. And a lot of times, as we've seen, which I implore everyone to go and watch this Y-Files episode, as you'll hear, a lot of these people have ended up dead.
Yeah. Or
out of
disappear.
Mysterious circumstances.
Yeah.
But they were essentially unalived.
Yeah. They got ghosted. But yeah, it's not just energy too. It's anything to do with like fuel is another one.
Yeah.
He talked about, and I think it's not just on. People have heard about this, like the guy who can run a vehicle with water,
Mm-hmm.
and that's been people say, oh, well, it's bullshit and it didn't work out. But I mean, he actually did it. Engineers went and verified,
Yeah.
there wasn't anything hidden or anything screwy going around. Yeah, he got disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah. And they say the excuse is, oh, this breaks the first rule of thermodynamics.
Yeah.
But it's like, well,
Who
maybe
gives a
those
shit?
rules are outdated, and
Who gives a shit if it breaks? If it works, it works.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, I looked into that. What do you call it? What do they call it? Invention Secrecy Act, the one that was in 1951. Dude, you can pull it up. It is crazy. It's very cut and dry too. Like if something threatens the economy, or it's a threat on security, they'll classify it to where it's gone from public knowledge.
yeah,
And it's indefinite. There is
Yeah.
not like, oh, it's only for a year.
Right.
It's forever.
yeah. I mean, it all comes back to money and power.
Yeah. So
It's like, if an invention like that would come out, there is a $1 billion industry in energy that, these high ups, the people in the shadow government possibly, who are running this stuff, that's money out of their pocket.
Yeah.
And they want that power and they want that money.
And it's not just that too. There's so many. I mean, and there's good people too that have jobs and positions, careers that are in energy, that are in oil, or that are in whatever, dealing with that. And I mean, if Zero Point did come out, and we talked about this on our first episode too, like if it did come out, yeah, they wouldn't have a purpose.
Yeah.
Like their job, their career would not exist anymore. It wouldn't need to exist.
Yeah, like they live to keep us, docile.
Yeah.
And something like that would literally, like quite literally, be giving the power to the people.
Yep.
And they don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
Because how do they control that? They want to be the ones running everything. And it fucking sucks for us because we could just I can't even imagine how far we would be if something like that existed whenever it first existed.
Yeah. I mean, and it's funny because people bitch about what that would solve. Like, okay, well, there's an energy crisis in California. It's stupid how bad it is over there right now. Or in other parts of the world, like if that existed, there would be no reason to fight over that or wage war over anything like that.
Poverty would pretty much come to an end.
Yeah.
Because you think water salination plants, they require a huge amount of energy.
Yep.
But if you have something that's not using energy to make energy, you can have a water salination plant in every area of the desert. Like you can have these oases in the middle of the fucking Sahara and have a crop, and like every society would be fine and thrive. But they don't want that because they want to keep us down.
And there's it's almost like a pattern or a cycle. Like people need a reason to wage war, and war for those higher ups. I mean, those you want to call them elitist or whatever you want to call them, shadow government. Wars give them billions of dollars.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's tune into that Fallout series. It's it's pretty crazy. I mean, some of that stuff, it's fiction, but it's based on people's traits. It's based on human involvement in things like that. And and what's going on, in other countries right now, like we've talked about it, off there, like it is a little scary, and it would be crazy if something like that, if somebody did pull the trigger on, well, let's go to war. Well, I don't know. That frightens me.
Yeah. Yeah, because he even talked about even solar panels, they were put on a shelf for a while.
Yeah.
Like we could have had solar panels way before they were actually introduced to the public. But he also talked about how our green energy now is a fraud.
Yeah.
Because, the government, it gives, money to companies to research what they want them to research.
Yeah, and it's weird, dude. Like older people will talk about, the good old days. Like I'm saying, like 40s and 50s, that era. When cars came out, in the 50s, dude, American cars, dude, they were built and designed. A lot of things were built and designed to last for a long time. And you saw those things depreciate or they're not as reliable. I'll say this now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's a reason for that. Like, if they designed and built things to last forever, they wouldn't get more money, 5 or 7 years down the road.
I mean, they adopt the same model with technology too.
Yep.
Your iPhone, it's not going to last forever, and they want that.
Yep. Or they market it to where you do need the next one.
Yeah.
Well, why? It does the same thing, but it does it a little bit better.
We have one more megapixel that you can take a picture with.
We have one more lens.
Most people don't realize is you as a normal day person don't need that. Like, if you're working in film and everything, that stuff kind of matters. And unless you're going in and deeply editing your photos, I mean, with the photos you can take now, throw a filter on it, you can clean it up in apps. It's gonna look great. But unfortunately, that's the society we live in. In a capitalistic society, there's always going to be somebody with the most money that has the power. Yeah. And I'm not saying I have the answers, but it just fucking sucks to be a pawn.
Yeah. We talked about it in the first episode. The guy on Y-Files talked about it too. Like, if you do, have an idea, if you do have an invention, definitely continue to work on it if it's going to better human society. But
do not patent it.
Yeah, don't do that.
Release it to the public.
I mean, if you really care, definitely release it free.
If you're not just in it for the money and the power, which he said on the Y-Files, the money will come.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It will. Obviously, something that great, there's going to come with it recognition. With great power comes great responsibility. Yeah. And I believe the people that are smart enough to do that is great power. Mm-hmm. Knowledge is power. The knowledge to do that is power. But also with that comes responsibility. And that's where it comes to, are you going to be greedy and just go for the money, which could get you killed? Possibly.
I guess maybe on a good note, I mean, more and more people, regular people, are making way more money, just like, say, influencers, for example, that aren't in that section of, you want to call it the government or whatever. Maybe, if people do come up with awesome ideas, there is a group that can be formed to help people like that. Because, I mean, it's financial backing, and it's also, their security too. Yeah. I'm glad that regardless if Elon's ideas pan out, or because I think he does, if it's not working, he's going to switch gears and go somewhere else. But because he has all that money, and I mean, without him even saying he does have a little bit of power. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? I'm glad that he's still trying to, everything that he's designing and building, I think it's with good intention. It's not to make money. It's, we can do this better. Let's do this. And I'm pretty sure, had it not been, if he was working for NASA, for example, we wouldn't be where we're at with what he has already, come up with, regardless if Tesla's cars and stuff keep going or not. But the rocket program that he has, revolutionary. I don't think NASA would have wanted to do that, probably. Yeah. They want to reuse and, build new stuff every single time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, money and power.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, it runs the world right now. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know that it will change in our lifetime.
I don't know.
But, here's to hoping.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so the next topic.
So it was breaking news, actually. Yeah. Was it last Saturday that he came out?
I don't remember when it was.
Okay, well, if people don't know, and I'm sure people have heard about him because I think Twitter's blowing up or X is blowing up, whether he's being bad-mouthed or people are like, no, he needs to keep saying it. But, we're going to circle back to almost what we began our podcast with, and that was, a little bit of UAP stuff. And this, it's crazy because this is a different story, but it ties into, and there's things that are linked to what we talked about initially. So Jason Sands, ex-military guy, I don't know if he's still I want to say he is in the intelligence community, but yeah, he came out on X. There was an X space, I guess you want to call it, an online testimony that he gave before his James Fox episode that's going to air later this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's a movie or just documentary or what.
I think it's a documentary.
Documentary?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, this guy, 20 plus years in the Air Force, tons of medals and accommodations, came out and is basically doing the same thing that David Grush, Ryan Graves, Commander Fravor did in front of Congress. And he's kind of just whistleblowing on things that he experienced, things that he saw and knows, just because he wants the public to know the truth. So more and more people, as we hear, are coming out, or at least they want to share what their experience was. Because he was saying that from what people have said, the podcast that he's heard, different other people that are not in this, that don't have backgrounds like Grush and all them, are saying some of it is bullshit, and I guess he wants to air it out. And again, like we say, this is not. We're not telling you this. We're just reporting what.
Yeah.
This
these
person,
are not our opinions.
Yeah.
We're just kind of discussing and going over what we've heard.
Yeah, and we will have opinions. And please, we're not experts, so don't.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt.
Yes, it is.
Always do your own research.
Yeah.
Like, believe what you want to believe.
And if you didn't listen to it, at least read some of it because it's at least entertaining. It's a good read. Some of the stuff.
I mean, it is a very long.
Oh yeah.
Like the whole video is like 5 hours.
Yeah,
or something.
it's super long.
But yeah, there's a lot of interesting things in it.
Yeah, some of it's like, are you serious? Come on, man. But I mean, again, it's entertaining if you're into that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I told you his name is Jason Sands. Big time military background. Stationed out at Nellis Air Force, or Nellis was one of the places he was stationed at, and that's outside of Area 51. So just kind of give you guys a setting of where this stuff is taking place, and it's very similar to other stories. It's always around Area 51.
Yeah.
But yeah, he goes out and he's explaining. There's a couple of things that he did on the online testimony because it doesn't really go in order. People are asking him. It's basically a Q&A. Yeah, it's all it is. And the incident, the big one that he's telling, is an encounter. You want to kind of.
I'm gonna let you take the lead because the details are. I had a lot going on this week.
So, the time was late 90s. Whenever I started listening to it, and whenever the people that I was listening to started broadcasting it, I want to say it already ran for maybe an hour or two. So I just know that it's in the late 90s. It was November, but he had an encounter with an NHI, so non-human intelligence, so an alien. It sounds better if you say NHI.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this guy, he had an encounter, and it was at the test range. So he gets there in the morning. He says that it was a convoy, probably about 3 or 4 vehicles. When they arrived, the craft had already been there for a week or so. I don't know how it got downed because he goes into the same thing that we talked about in our first episode, that I guess these crafts can be downed possibly with just regular everyday radar.
Yeah.
It affects their stuff. Again, I don't know how old this craft was, but this alien, he was out of the craft, and he doesn't really know what happened to the people in the convoy because they were there too. He doesn't know if there was some weird trance that they were put in. Again, this is where it gets a little weird. But his encounter was it was a verbal encounter. He says that it was verbal, it was oral, but he didn't understand what that being was telling him. But he did because it was telepathic. So he received the meanings of the words. I guess the way you and I are talking and understanding each other. Maybe they had a Samsung and it had the other language thing. But he understood, and he said that he was looking for. I guess he was wanting help.
Didn't he say that its skin was blue?
Yeah, he said his skin was blue.
Like imagine you were like super cold, and like how your skin kind of turns that bluish. He said it was that hue of blue.
Not me. I would not turn that blue, but a very fair-skinned individual might turn maybe a little blue. But yeah, and he was tall, no facial hair, no hair, had wrinkles on his head and neck area. He described it as picture like a 50 or 60-year-old bald-headed person. That's what this alien looked like. Not only that, but he was wearing a military BDU. So those are those camouflage uniforms that military personnel wear. I'm not sure what color it was, but he says he was wearing a BDU. And let's see, what else did he say about him? Let's see. Yeah, no facial hair, large eyes, large nose, looked like a human for the most part. Let's see here. He said that I guess the words or the whatever he was saying sounded Norwegian, from what he could gather. But in addition to understanding what he was saying, he gave him like an image in his mind, and it was the star map of the constellation Leo, and he remembers like a red star. I don't know if he mentioned that that's where that being was originally from.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't remember that, but that's the image that he received in his head. He also says that during this time, like he remembers seeing the schoolhouse, and the schoolhouse is the military training school that they go to on top of Black Mountain over there, and that's where they do the testing for. I want to say it's for other aviators. They try to jam their signals and see how they react to things like that. But that's how he described it. He says that he believes that the alien was looking for help. He remembers telling him about a college that was nearby. The alien wanted the information, so I guess he received it telepathically. But that was the encounter, and that right there is one of the biggest things that's getting a lot of shit on X, and rightfully so. I mean, it sounds very wild. I always think, okay, you got to have an open mind both ways. You got to open mind that you can't fully believe it. You got to think that there might be some bullshit behind it, and at the same time, you can't say, hey, no, that totally never happened. It might have happened. Who knows?
Yeah.
I just I wonder what the Incas thought whenever they saw people come on shore. Like, holy shit! Like it's not our color. What is that? So maybe it's the same kind of thing. But he also thinks that he worked for the big thing is the program. That is what he called it. I want to say Greer mentioned something to that effect, but it's all these different people in the program.
Yeah,
and
the name of the program is classified, so he never talked about it.
Yeah,
and like there was a bunch of questions. He's like, someone was very skeptical, and like he was talking to him. And he told him, like, from the gig, he was like, look, I'm skeptical. I don't really believe everything you're saying. He's like, but why? How can you tell us this information but not the name of the project? He's like, it's just how it is. Like I went through the proper channels. Like I got everything that I'm talking about is approved. Yeah. But the name of the project, that's classified. I can't say.
So this gentleman, Jason Sands, he went to Congress. I want to say the Senate and possibly the House. There was at least 7 people there when he gave them all the information that he knows. I think that there is some stuff that was even revealed in a skiff. So there was probably some confidential stuff that was, or classified stuff that was given. And it made sense. The way he broke it down was, they're not part of our government, the NHI.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why you can talk about them. It's not classified because they're not part of our government. They didn't sign any NDAs or anything. So, and then in addition to that, there are probably other missions, I'm assuming, that probably can't be, disclosed.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I'm glad. I mean, because if you can imagine, like, what if he would have said something that would have made him lose credibility?
Yeah.
Someone even said that while he was on there, James Fox even appeared on that, because I mean, there was a lot of people listening, and they say that he jumped in, James Fox, and then he jumped out. I'm not sure if maybe he's like, why the fuck did you go on there, man? or if he's just like, all right, cool. You know, more people know. Maybe more people will watch the documentary. So, I I'm just I'm going to just see where this goes. But the program is what this guy calls it. He was asked by one of the people there how many other alien races that he knows about. He said a council of 12.
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly that means. That there's 12 races, or there's just I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, he talked about some of them, right? Like he talked about the grays, the whites.
Yeah, and some people think that what he meant was a tall white. That's what some people say, but I don't know. But he did describe that the alien looked cold. He gave him his inner lining of his jacket.
Yeah,
he did mention that he didn't receive anything from the alien. But yeah, he gave him his inner lining.
I thought he said he did get something.
I don't think he did.
I would have to listen to it again.
Herpes?
Alien herpes.
Alien herpes. That's a cure to cancer. But yeah, there's a lot of info that's still classified, and he, mentioned several times that he's working with his legal team to make sure, what you can say, what you can't say, what setting you can say these different things in, because I'm sure there's probably a huge team. Same thing with Grush, because remember in that hearing, like there was a ton of stuff that he couldn't even talk about.
Yeah.
And kudos to those guys, because like I think I would have broke like, wait, like I said something I shouldn't have said. Like my bad.
That's what we're all waiting for.
Yeah,
we want that tea.
Someone on another, I guess someone that I was looking at some of the comments after this whole thing went out, and I don't know who this Eric Davis is, if he is military or intelligence or who this person is, but he was saying that he's not truly vetted as he said that he was, because Jason has said that he has gone to Congress, he's gone to AARO, that's that AARO, and disclosed all this information. This gentleman, Eric Davis, is saying that he's not truly vetted. Upon investigation, some of the information is changing. So I mean, it's I don't know where that leaves all this whenever it's all said and done with. But yeah, dude, he said places. What did he call them? Craft retrieval locations.
Yeah.
Texas has one.
Crash site retrievals. Those are actual things.
Yeah. So we have one in Texas. Other countries do: South, Central America, Vietnam, and then some other countries that he didn't name. This one blew my mind because I don't know if you've heard this story, but he kind of confirmed about this Holloman Air Force Base meeting with President Eisenhower. Dude, that story sounds fiction, but it's the one where Eisenhower's on a winter holiday, and it's what year was this? I don't remember. Whenever he was in office, but he was in Palm Springs, California, disappeared in the middle of the night. No one knows where he went. Sources say that he had a meeting at Holloman Air Force Base with an alien, and there was discussions about basically like we're going to give you all this tech that's going to change the world. All you have to do is give up your nuclear weapons. You need to renounce everything dealing with nuclear. And he said no, because he didn't know, for a good reason, he didn't know the other countries was going to do the same thing either.
Yeah.
So he did, I want to say he did the right thing, but who knows, had he said, okay, fine, where we would be now. Who knows? Maybe we would have that 0-point energy. Maybe the aliens would have just given it to us.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Did he, I can't remember if it was this, but did he talk about like the different races of aliens and like what like the Greys are pretty much the scientists. That's why they're like, they take people, they do tests, they probe them. Like,
he did. I don't remember if he went into great detail about the different races, but I know he did say that part of some of the agreements, and I'm not sure if it's this one, it might be in other agreements, but these are in not Project, not Blue Book, or is it Paperclip? I want to say Project Blue Book. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But there's like this understanding, like you can abduct whatever, whoever. We don't want to know about it though.
Yeah.
That's y'all's business. But in exchange, maybe there is something that they give us.
Yeah.
And he was mentioning that some people, and maybe through trial, like maybe they did initially try, like, hey, how are you? You're gonna come with us, and people are going crazy. So that's why you hear a lot of stories like it was in my sleep, like
Yeah.
I was taken, during my sleep. Maybe they do something, and but yeah, they obviously. I'm not going to say they obviously abducted, but there's a ton of stories of abductions, and it's always like a trance, and they don't know what's going on until they wake up in their bed the next day or something with a weird mark or whatever. But yeah,
sore asshole.
Yeah, those are Diddy's parties. Those are the next morning.
He dresses up like an alien.
Nice one, dude. That's gonna come out like we want to report that there are no aliens. It's been Diddy this whole time.
I saw this video kind of along those lines that there were videos recovered from his house when they did the raid that show Kim Kardashian doing some crazy stuff.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it, man.
And like she was almost kind of in on it. So, supposedly, it was a TikTok video, so take that with a huge sea of salt.
Yeah, I mean, she's famous for being on videos. So
yeah, yes, she is.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past her to do some.
I wouldn't know. I've never seen it.
Yeah. Like the Kardashian, the show? Is that what we're talking about?
The show.
Yeah, crazy. But yeah,
a show.
Yeah, yeah. The other thing that blew my mind too is he didn't go into detail about it. He just said that he had to do it, and that was a 20 and back. Do you remember like this? There was a thing on TV. I'm not sure if we talked about it in our first episode or not, but it was Corey Good said that he participated in this thing, and again, Jason didn't go into detail about what it actually is.
Yeah.
Or he didn't even say that they actually call it 20 and back, but he did have to do 20 years. And if it's what Corey Good said and then got debunked, it's where you go off and you do essentially like a mission on Mars or somewhere for 20 years. And then when you come back, you're possibly a clone of yourself. So now on Earth, you're a clone of what you used to be, but you don't know it. But yeah, you don't really lose time because you're right back to where you started when you left. But he said that when he left the program, that was penance for leaving the program, is doing the 20 and back. Again, that's the one where people are like, come on, get the fuck out of here. Like, that's bullshit. But I don't know. Maybe it is true. I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of hard to believe, but, keep an open mind.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I mean, how many people, like, wouldn't want to do that? It's like, okay, we're going to give you 20 years to go live this life, and then you come back and you'll be right back where you were. It's like someone's going through a shitty-ass time in their life. Like, fuck yeah, give me 20 years not to have to work and do all this other shit.
Yeah. But what if those 20 years are horrible?
Well, that's true too.
I mean, and the way he described it is it's penance. So it's like stuff that you don't want to do. Probably. I don't know. Or
so essentially jail time.
Yeah. You serve 20 years and then you come back. That would be crazy it's like being frozen, I guess. It's like Demolition Man.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Demolition Man.
Maybe he just watched that movie right before.
Ooh,
it was just fresh on his mind.
Maybe that's what happened. And then the big one is the invention patents, like he confirmed, like Congress or the government does have a ton of patents that they've classified from public knowledge indefinitely, mind
Yeah.
you. Um, and the funny thing is, like, these aren't things that just get shelved. These are things that the government is going to use. So,
Oh yeah.
maybe some of those things that people are seeing are things that we've actually built and designed because we got them from patents that were stolen. That's probably a good word for it. But yeah, he confirmed that. I looked at that, and it's a real thing. It's the Invention Secrecy Act. It was created in 51, if anyone wants to go out there and take a look at that. But that shit does happen. He confirmed. Did you ever hear about that remote viewing that people do?
Yeah.
Yeah. He confirmed that that's part of the program. If anyone doesn't know what that is, it's basically what do you do? Like you are you like are you like almost asleep or in a trance?
It's like a deep meditative state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's kind of what the those gateway tapes. That's essentially what they were attempting to do.
You're right. So basically, they tell somebody the coordinates, maybe to like a location, and these people haven't been there. They can't. There's no research on it beforehand, and they want the person that's in that state of mind to describe what they see.
Yeah.
Like, what are there computers? Are there mountains? What do you see? And these people are able to recount details about what they see. They don't know exactly, like, oh yeah, they're on the web page, whatever, google.com, but they can tell them, like, I see wires, I see things that look like TV screens, I see hallways, and I listen to, I don't know how true some of those stories are, but he did mention that remote viewing is a real thing of the program. From the encounter, let's just talk about the encounter. Do you think that might have happened, or would you say that no, there's no way?
I mean, I won't say like an absolute no. I think it could. Like, I mean, there's so many stories of people having encounters.
Yeah.
Like, what's to say, or who's to say that this one isn't true?
Mm-hmm.
I like to keep my mind open about those kind of things. I kind of want to experience it myself, but I kind of don't.
Yeah.
I think it would be, if I lived through it and nothing like horrible happened to me, I think it would be an amazing, life changing
awesome
experience.
It would be awesome, and it would be cool, like if they brought you up, right, and then they were like, "Dude, what the fuck are y'all doing down there? Are y'all serious? Why haven't y'all tapped into 0 point energy yet?"
They won't let us.
I'd be like, "Dude, it's all around you. Y'all are dumb."
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what they would, if they could say what's on their mind. Like, we've been watching you guys. I mean, y'all are pretty interesting. It's amazing on the things that you can do. It's amazing the predicaments that you guys put yourselves in all the time too. Why do y'all have, like, what is this government? Like, why do y'all have that?
Why do you lick where pee comes out?
Yeah. And then they show us what they do, and it's like fucking gross. Like,
Yeah. You're just fisting each other. Yeah.
It always reminds me of that one South Park episode. Remember where they get taken up into space, and it's those. I guess Earth is a TV reality show, and then the boys end up going with these two aliens, and they get drunk and high, and they end up getting a hooker, and it's like, yeah, suck my jag on.
Yeah.
And then Kenny takes a picture of it. Ah, man, I can't believe I sucked your jag on. I'm thinking it's something like that. I'm thinking some aliens are probably nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, the incident for me, I mean, I wish that, and then again, people are like, but no, it's good that he went into detail, because had he been vague, then it would have been, people would have said, no, he's not going into detail.
Yeah.
But then you provide too much detail, then people are like, no, there's no fucking way that happened.
Yeah, there's never gonna be pleasing everybody.
No. And I just wonder, dude, like they talked a little bit about like, so, if they were to, I think they said something to the effect of, how come they're not showing themselves like more to where everyone can see it? And like, well, maybe they don't want to be, seen, because if they are, they put themselves in danger. I mean, if there are bodies, I don't think that they wanted to be where they ended up.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, imagine us flying somewhere, right, like an island, and we crash there, and then we're there. It's like Planet of the Apes or something, and we get trapped. And I mean, that would suck. And they're doing all these experiments on us, and probing us or whatever they're gonna do. Don't get excited.
No, that's you.
Yeah.
I saw you perk up. That's why you mentioned it.
But yeah, I mean, that would, I would feel bad if that's really what happened. They just literally crashed. Didn't want to be. They were on the way to somewhere cool and fun.
Yeah, they're like on spring break.
Yeah. Dude, they were just fucking hammered or whatever.
Yeah. Oh shit, where are we?
You say we were gonna be there 5 hours ago, and then something happens. We shoot our radar up there, and then like, where the fuck did we go, man? Not again. And then they end up at this place, and it's horrible for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. The incident is pretty crazy. Him. And he did say, like, he's seen some things. He did mention Stephen Greer.
Yep.
He did mention him. They're in talks, and he did say something about like he is wanting more whistleblowers to come out to put pieces together.
Yeah.
Because not people have different pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah, he did mention that David Grush probably has the most pieces that he can, because he's spoken to a lot of people.
But I can understand too, like, I mean, and these were regular people, civilians, the ones that were coming up with those inventions. I mean, one of them, I want to say it was for energy, maybe, but his house got broken into, and then it was kind of like, oh, I got the picture. I understand now. Like, I'm not gonna touch that again. Like, that's the last time I'm gonna try to come up with anything. So they scare him, and he's done coming up with ideas. These people, that obviously signed, these probably life or death NDAs, like, you cannot say anything about any of this shit.
Yeah.
If you do, you're not only jeopardizing your life, but, we know where you live. We know where your kids go to school at. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can just imagine, like, if I worked out there and then I wanted to come out, it's hard because you're going to have to give me some guarantees on how I'm going to be safe. Because, like, I know some shit.
Yeah.
And if I say anything, then they probably won't even kill me. They'll probably mess with my family before they get to me. But yeah, they need more, what did Greer say? Like, more things that, what's it called? Immunity.
Yeah. Yeah, more protection.
More protection, immunity for these people that want to come out. Yeah, I'm hoping that does happen. I just want to know the truth. I don't care if it's like it's all bullshit and it's all holograms or whatever. I'm cool with that too. I just want to know the truth. That's all I want to know. And if there are aliens, then hell yeah, that's cool too.
Yeah. I mean, if you watch the X-Files, you know the truth is out there.
The truth is out there. Or it could all be a simulation, and this is just a video game, like we talked about in our last sesh. Yep.
Very well could be.
Yep. Well, that was the Jason Sands online testimony. We definitely condensed it into a very short period of time.
Yeah. It's super interesting stuff. Like we said, we don't have the answers. We don't know the answers. We like them, but we're at the whim of people waiting to come forward, too scared to come forward. We're at the whim of, the shadow government and the government keeping us docile by not giving us the power that we deserve.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, he did. David Grush mentioned in that hearing like biologics, and yeah, this guy did say that some of the crafts did have non-biologics. Some of them have both.
yeah.
So that's another thing that he's, what would you call it, corroborating with David Grush. Yeah, man. And he also mentioned, I've heard this. This is something against, or it appeals what Stephen Greer said. How Greer thinks that every one of these beings are, what would you say, benevolent? Like they're
Yeah.
good. They don't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
This individual, and I've heard other people mention this too. Like, no, some of them are good, some of them are bad. They're not all good. So yeah, he's mentioned that too. Man, that 20 and back, dude, that is something.
Yeah.
I wonder if that really happened.
Maybe.
You're saying you would want to do it though if it was cool?
If it was cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I can, just pause life here, go live 20 years and
Salvia. Maybe that's what that's what they did. They just smoke this shit right now.
Yeah.
You want to get out of the program? Smoke this right now.
And it was only like a minute, but it seemed like 20 years.
Yeah.
So you didn't lose any time.
It's 5:25. You started smoking that at 5:20. See that? Yeah, that is crazy. The stories of salvia, like they say they live another life.
Yeah.
And then they come back. That
it's the simulation within the simulation.
Yeah. Shit. Well, anyways, that was the Jason Sands thing. Pretty crazy, pretty interesting.
Yeah. Definitely check it out. It's interesting. I mean, if you have the time, listen to the entire thing.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I didn't listen to the entire thing. I listened to about 4 hours of it. It's about 5 hours long.
Yeah, it was long. And then later, James Fox is going to have a documentary, so I'm sure that they'll condense and it'll probably be really nice and cool looking. So I'm looking forward to that too. It'd be fun if he's like we're canceling it. I'm like, you totally botched it, man.
Yeah, he's like, you spilled all the tea already.
Yep.
I don't want to do it.
There's nothing left on the bone. Anything else?
Yeah, one crazy thing that I saw this week. Harvey Weinstein.
Okay.
Hollywood producer, convicted of multiple rape convictions. It was overturned.
No way.
Yeah.
How?
So I'm just going to read this from here. In the 4-3 ruling, Judge Ginny Rivera wrote that the judge in the New York County trial prejudiced Weinstein with improper rulings, including allowing women to testify about allegations that were not part of the case. So they're saying because they allowed those women to testify that wasn't specifically about that case, they're saying it's a mistrial.
Oh my God.
And so, let's see. Yeah, the DA is saying they're going to do everything in their power to retry the case.
They have to.
Yeah, I think it comes down to money and power again. Dude has a lot of money, which in turn he has a lot of power too. Because I'm sure he had every single lawyer that he could put on retainer looking for something that's going to get him off.
Yep, and it's probably that same shit with that. I mean, and who knows? I don't know. I never got any stories. All I know is about that he did that, and there's, I mean, actresses that have come out and said, what happened.
Yeah.
But like, how Epstein basically invited people to parties. It's the same whole dirty shit, but essentially blackmailing probably people like, hey, if you say something, I got you on tape.
Yeah.
I got some shit on you, buddy.
Yep. It does say, even if Weinstein, damn it, I hate these articles with so many ads. They just, they go away and like the article moves up. And says, even if Weinstein is released from New York state custody pending a new trial, he has also been convicted in California, meaning that he would likely be transferred to authorities in that state.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, that's where the majority of stuff happened, right? Or
I think it was New York.
Was it New York? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that and I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I know a lot of people are going to be pissed off about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting week. I think
Very
we had.
Interesting week. Crazy true crime story.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, true crime, aliens, I mean, topical, rapists.
Rapist.
I mean, that's quite a week.
Yep. Well,
didn't even talk about X-Men. I mean, we did a little bit with the theme, but which is it's still been great, by the way.
Yeah, great episodes.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, I think that's all we got.
I think that's it, guys.
Well, we hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of your week. I know you'll be seeing this on a Monday, but it's a Friday right now, so we're gonna go live our lives.
Yep. All right. So cheers, guys.
Cheers.
All right.